All right, guys, welcome back. Episode 48 of Ladies First. I'm your host, Amber Vickers. Got my partner in crime with me. So we're going to talk WNBA playoffs, baby. It's already started. Nick and I are excited. Go ahead and, do your thing, Nick. Go ahead and introduce yourself and everything like that. They see
All
you all the
right.
time, but
Yeah, no problem. I mean, for the regular listeners, you already know who I am. But for the newer audience, my name is Nick Andre. I'm a basketball writer / analyst covering all things from high school to the pros. So yes, follow me on Twitter at Nick Andre ATR, and also check out my link tree in my bio as well.
see, there we go. Follow me on Twitter at simplyme_AV. And this guy right here is the reason why I got a link tree because trying to figure out everything that I do is just too much. All right. The WNBA playoffs have started today. And right now we got Chicago and Dallas. Now, the way the WNBA does the playoffs is a little bit different. Hey,
Very
thank
different.
you. Thank you, Backstop Banter. That's Michael and Kyle.
Hey,
They going after me, guys. So check them out. If you like baseball, they got a special guest on there tonight. So you guys go ahead and check them out. Thank you. We appreciate that. If it's Michael or Connie, we appreciate you both. Their system is a little different from the NBA. The top 8 teams go. The conferences are thrown out the window. They only did the conferences for the Commissioner's Cup this year. So the top 8 teams go. The first 2 seeds get a double bye. Seeds 3 and 4 get a single bye.
single bye. Mm-hmm.
5 plays 8, 6 plays 7. So 6 is playing 7 right now, which is Dallas and Chicago. And then tonight, what you think about tonight?
Tonight's going to be a really interesting matchup just because we definitely must have to say we definitely didn't expect New York to even get that 8 spot. We definitely I think I said Washington. I think you said the same thing, or LA. I can't exactly remember, but for the Liberty to be in this position is definitely got to give your kudos to them. So I think it's going to be a battle. I mean, you got Natasha. I feel like Natasha Howard's going to have a really strong game. I feel like she's going to lead the way, especially considering that, she's really the one player on the team that has the most experience as far as winning a championship and everything. So it's definitely going to be a battle.
Absolutely. And this game right here is a battle. I mean, Nick, I don't know why my palms are sweaty. Oh, good pass. I don't know why my palms are sweaty. But when Chicago gets running, they're hard to beat. Courtney Vanderbilt has already made 2 great passes. One to Azrae Stevens, and then the other one, I think that was that was Kalea Copper. So she scored 2 buckets in a row. Ooh, then Mariah Jefferson comes back and hits a bucket.
I think that's the beauty. That's the beauty of Chicago when everything goes right. Because I mean, we already know that they have their inconsistencies and everything. But I think Chicago may be one of the most unselfish teams in the W. Like whenever they were playing at their best.
Yeah.
Like obviously you have one of the greatest playmakers in Courtney Vanderbilt, but then again you have such a dynamic forward in Candace Parker who can step out and be that playmaker as well. So it's like you have such great players that are unselfish and they allow others to get going. So I think that's what makes Chicago so dangerous. Like when everything's going right is because they're so unselfish with one another.
Nick, you know what I don't understand sometimes? Because Enrique is getting busy. Nope, she missed that one. When a small switches off to a big. So, for example, there they go running again. Oh, she messed it up. Dribbled off her foot. It's okay, Claire. It's okay. When a small switches off to a big in the NBA, right? The small takes advantage of that. WNBA, I don't see that as much. So, Azrae Stevens got switched out onto Mariah Jefferson, and she passed the ball to Enrique on the wing. Why not break that big down? You see what I'm saying?
I agree. I mean, it's definitely a mismatch, and I mean, the smaller person will always have that advantage, in my opinion. Especially like whenever you leave a big out on the island, like. So yeah, I mean, we've seen it so many times, even in the NBA. We see Chris Paul do it. We see a few others do it, like in the NBA as well. So I wouldn't be mad to see like a smaller guard in the W like take advantage of that matchup.
Yeah, we don't see it enough, I don't feel like. I mean, we see it sometimes, but we don't see it enough, in my opinion. Ooh, that's a tough bucket. Ooh, that was a tough bucket, Copper. I want to see that more. I want to see them take advantage of the mismatches more. Now, they run more.
I agree.
They run more sets than the NBA does, I think. But I want to see that.
I agree. I agree
really want to see
100%.
that. Yeah. So with this matchup here with Chicago and Dallas, we know Enrique, Candace Parker. We know that, right? So who are you looking forward to seeing step up for both teams?
I think if Kalia Coppers has a monster, I wouldn't say a monster game. Like if she gives you at least like 17 to 19 a game, then I feel like Chicago will win by at least 15 points. Just because I feel like she is like one of the golden keys for Chicago. Like because I mean she's so great on both ends of the floor. Whenever she is locked in and engaged, and really focused, and really looking to like really contribute to the team, they're definitely dangerous. I mean, and I mean, obviously, Chicago also has players in Diamond Shields. Allie Quigley can get hot in a hurry as well. So it's all about just, I feel like Kalia Copper's presence on that team definitely can elevate the team as a whole.
And Diamond Shields is not starting tonight. So Quigley's getting the start tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And that's interesting. And Diamond Shields, last time she played, the last game they played, she had a pretty good game. I think she had 30. Did she almost have 30? Diamond Shields?
I believe so. Diamond Shields is one of those players that I just want to see just go on a scoring rampage like every single night. Honestly, she's capable of doing it, but I think it's because she can also be so unselfish as well as that, she can also take a step back. But whenever she is locked in and really looking to score, she can be one of the most dangerous players in the league. I just want to see her do it more.
I do too. And you get games and you get flashes. When she was at Tennessee, I mean, we know she was a great scorer at Tennessee. Yes. And I was like, man, I want to see that college Diamond D Shields come out. Like, I want to see her like go full on, full out. But for Dallas to win this game, who do you think has to step up in order for Dallas to win this game?
I'll go two players. I think Satu Sabali. I think she can have a really good game, and I'll say Marina Mabry just because I love how she contributes to the team as far as like both ends of the floor, and she showed it in that last game that Dallas had against Vegas. Not Vegas, Los Angeles, really just showing up and like in contributing at a high level. So I feel like those two may possibly be like the biggest keys to the win. Because I mean, at the end of the day, we already know what Enrique is going to bring to the table. We already know that she's going to lead the way offensively. So now it's all about how can Vicky Johnson get the rest of the contributors to really play at a high level.
Yeah, and you know who else I'm looking forward to? Alicia Gray.
Alicia Gray as well, yep.
I want to see Alicia Gray kind of be that second scorer for Dallas. We know Satu's coming off that injury. Like she's getting more playing time. She's getting her reps in, but I like Alicia, man. And
Alicia's tough. She's tough.
Coming off that 3-on-3 gold medal, and she's been playing well the second, I guess you call it the second half of the season, because Chicago's gonna key in on that one player and say, "Oh, okay, we're not gonna let Enrique beat us. We're gonna have somebody else try to beat us." And with Chicago, they have different players that can, score. Courtney Vandersloot will have a game. Quigley will have a game. Copper can have a game. Diamond D Shields can have a game. Candace Parker can have a game. Dana Evans could, have a game. You just never know there with Chicago. And I like that mix they have there. Now, some AP awards have been awarded. So I
saw that.
So I'm trying to figure out how this system works. I don't know how it works for NBA either. So hey, I just say, hey, this is how it goes. I think Connecticut have 3 players that had most improved, coach of the year, and MVP according to the AP. So most improved, we know went to Brianna Jones.
Mm-hmm.
MVP went to Jonquil Jones. the Joneses, keeping up with the Joneses. And then Kurt Miller got coach of the year. How do you feel about that? And one, Candace.
I think it's well deserved. I mean, we both have been on here just basically, giving Brianna Jones her praise because I mean she's really taken her game to the next level, especially considering Alyssa Thomas, my bad. Alyssa Thomas's injury, and her not being available throughout most of the season. So for Brianna Jones to really come in and contribute at a high level, it really speaks volumes, to her work ethic and and the work that she's really put in throughout the offseason. And obviously, I mean, for Jonquil Jones to win MVP, I think that was a no-brainer for me. I mean, especially considering, and I keep saying this, Connecticut was dangerous last year in the playoffs without her. So now you come back this season with Jonquil Jones, and now you take a game to the next level to where y'all have the best record in the league. I think it's definitely phenomenal for her. And then also, I think you also got to give credit to Curtin Miller as well, who is such a phenomenal coach. Really allows his players to really be in great spots to be successful. So I feel like for those 3 awards, I really think that that it was a no-brainer.
Absolutely, I agree. Now, a lot of people thought Cheryl Reeve should got some love for Coach of the Year, which I'm pretty sure she will get some love for Coach of the Year.
Definitely.
Bill Lambert, of course. Noah Quinn stepped in for Danny Hughes when he decided to step down. So those are your top teams in the league, right? Minnesota got picked to finish. Oh my goodness, I saw it. They got picked to finish. Was it 7, 8? I don't know. It was lower than what they finished, of course. And Cheryl Reeve have been mixing and matching lineups all year long because of the fact that they've had injuries. They've dealt with injuries. And I'm going to tell you who the key player is for Minnesota. It is Aerial Powers.
Aerial Powers? Okay, I'm not mad at that.
Because if she gives you 16, 17 a game, Kayla McBride's going to do her thing. Sylvia Fowles is going to do her thing. Lafisha Collier's going to do her thing. I mean, that's scary. That's scary.
I don't know. For me, I mean, we both understand that Minnesota had a really good year, but I'm not sure if I'm really too proud of how Lafisha Collier played this year. I mean, I'm not saying that she played bad, but I just feel like, she really could have elevated herself into that MVP conversation. What do you think?
When Sylvia Fowles was playing the way she was playing, and then it's kind of like, okay, my teammate's playing well. Lafisha didn't start the year off. She didn't start with the team. True. So she got a little slow start. But I think that, she won Rookie of the Year. And you're thinking to yourself, okay, let's take that next step. But Sylvia Fowles just seems like she doesn't age. And
she had a great year. Oh my God.
Goodness. She jumped into that MVP conversation this season. And she'll probably get some votes for MVP. Mm-hmm. Because I do think she's their most valuable player. Although I do like Aerial Powers. I think she's the X factor.
Aerial Powers, definitely. Crystal Dangerfield. I mean, you can name like an abundance of players on that team that can really contribute for them.
Yes. And the job that Cheryl Reeve has done has been amazing. You know what I mean? It's just been amazing. She's had back-to-back Rookie of the Year. So hey,
that's
shout out to her. Now, Seattle. I picked Phoenix to finish ahead of Seattle, right? I think we both did because we're like, oh, they don't have.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Jewel Lloyd
went off in that. Those 22 points in the first quarter. I mean, she definitely reminded people like, hey, we're still the Seattle Storm here. You know what I'm saying? We're still the defending champs. Y'all better put some respect on us.
She stepped off into another universe.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, what in the devil? I didn't know what the heck was going on.
I didn't know what was going on either.
I was watching the game and everything she was putting up, which, some shots you're like, okay. And then they just kept going in. And I kept saying to myself, like, why do these shots just keep going in? Like, tonight must be her night. She had one of those games, Nick. And when she got going and Phoenix couldn't quite get going, I was just like, man, dang it, Phoenix.
The thing about it is that, like, just me watching that game, because I didn't watch the first quarter, but I watched a little bit of the second quarter and the whole second half. Just watching that game, Phoenix offensively wasn't really bad. It was just they couldn't really get stops defensively. So they were scoring at a pretty good level, but they just couldn't really cut down the lead until late in the fourth quarter because they couldn't get any stops. So I think that was definitely a big issue for them. They did cut into that lead, going into the fourth quarter, kind of late into the fourth quarter. But then again, Jewel Lloyd comes through, and it's a wrap after that.
Yeah, it was. I think that first quarter, although Jewel Lloyd went off, Phoenix was still in it. They weren't getting blown out. They weren't getting blown out. It's the worst. It's the worst when somebody has a great first quarter and the team is still in it. Mm-hmm. That just makes me feel some type of way. I think Phoenix was probably within single digits. I want to say it was pretty darn close. And they couldn't get going offensively. Jewel Lloyd couldn't stop putting the bucket, the ball in the bucket. I mean, that's what you got, pretty much.
So, are there any updates recently? Because I haven't heard anything on Stewie. Are there any updates as far as her being reevaluated or anything? Because I for sure haven't heard anything. So
I haven't heard anything on her, or I haven't heard anything on DeWanna Bonner. Like DeWanna Bonner's gonna be fine. I'm not worried about DeWanna
without
Bonner.
question.
She tweaked her back a little bit. She'd be fine. They didn't need that game anyway. I don't know why she played, but hey, that's neither here nor there. See, Alicia Gray hits a 3. That's neither here nor there. But I haven't heard anything either, Nick. And they play, what is it?
They play the winner of the Phoenix Liberty game, I think.
Yeah. So, do you think they can get by? Can they get by Phoenix without Brianna Stewart? No. You think?
If they play,
gonna have to be Drew Lloyd. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, if they play the way that they played in that last matchup on last Friday night, then I think they definitely have a shot. But it'll be tough because, I mean, the game is going to slow down. So, now you have to go up against players like, Skylar Diggins, Brittany Griner, who's had a really good year, in my opinion. And then not to mention, Diana Taurasi's probably going to be back as well. So you're gonna have to go up against that big three, but then again, you're gonna have to go up against great role players, Kia Nurse, Sophie Cunningham, and the rest of them. So if Phoenix is locked in playing together, and Seattle's looking kind of rough, struggling to really find a rhythm without Brianna Stewart, we might see an upset. I don't know. I'm not saying that it will happen, but you just never know, especially with Stewie's injury and her importance to that team.
Very important. And No Queen did a great job of figuring out how to play without her, because you and I were worried about how they're going to play without Brianna Stewart, but they figured it out. I mean, she did go missing all 2019. I think is when she tore her Achilles.
And they still made the playoffs, I want to say, or they barely cracked it. I can't exactly remember.
I can't remember either, but then they come back there next year and we know what happened. So in the wobble. I like that. They would probably rather play New York, maybe. But
definitely.
But Natasha Howard, though, you have to deal with that. I mean, she's healthy now, and she's got some games.
I think Seattle still has them kind of outnumbered because it's kind of like I said earlier. New York is still relatively young. You know what I mean? Like how much experience does players like Betnaja Laney have in the postseason? Or obviously we know Sabrina doesn't really have much experience. In the rest of the team. So if Seattle can use that experience that they have in the postseason as their weapon, then I think they definitely have a shot at advancing.
Do you want to? Because if Laney gets hot and Natasha Howard get hot, that could be a lot to deal with.
Oh
yeah. Sabrina's setting everybody up. You got Michaela Onyenwere. She won Rookie of the Year, which she's going to run away with Rookie of the Year. We already knew that.
Mm-hmm.
So you look at New York and you're like, maybe if you got two players that can get you probably almost 20 in Natasha Howard and Laney, maybe, you know what I mean? Sabrina's going to have to be special. I'm thinking maybe triple-double type. Alonzo Ball triple-double type, like 12, 10, and 10. Something small like that. Could possibly get you over the hump against Seattle, you think? Or do you think Seattle's too much experience on Seattle?
I think Seattle would be too much for New York. I mean, New York is definitely going to give them a shot, but I feel like at the end, with Seattle just being who they are, I feel like they'll be able to prevail. But Natasha Howard will get off. Trust me, she will.
Oh yeah, she's back healthy, and I think she has about 10 games under her belt. I want to say probably a bit more than that.
And she's played great in this last stretch for the Liberty, like to end the season.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how the Liberty got in the playoffs. They didn't even play. They're at home chilling. I think they went live on Instagram or something, or TikTok or whatever they did. All these social media sites. I don't know. They went live, right? And they were watching it. Who was it on the New York Liberty? Jasmine Jones was doing play-by-play, I think. She was watching the games. I think she was commentating the games because Los Angeles played.
Mm-hmm. And Washington played Minnesota.
And Washington played Minnesota. And I think she was commentating or doing play-by-play or something on both of those games. And it went live and people were like, oh, she's a key part to them as well. I like her a lot.
Just thinking about it now, I'm honestly kind of disappointed the Sparks didn't get that game against the Wings, man. Like they had it too. Ted Cooper had a great first half. Neko Gwumake had a great overall game, but that Dallas was just a little too strong.
What does Los Angeles do now? What do they do?
Fire Derek Fisher.
I thought they should have let him go when him and Candace got into it.
Exactly. Honestly, if Derek Fisher would have got fired a while back, Candace Parker would still be a Los Angeles Spark, in my opinion.
Do you think they were trying to go a different direction? Like get younger, or what do you think they were looking to do?
I'm not honestly so sure, but I feel like even with the roster that they have, like if they're healthy, I feel like they are still at least in playoff contention. So now going into this offseason, it's really just about how do you continue to build around NECA really at this point. Do you continue to build or do you continue to bring like the likes of Ted Cooper, Erica Wheeler, Brittany Sykes, and the rest of those players, like players of that caliber around her. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see where Los Angeles can go as far as this offseason. Because I feel like even with the roster now, they could have been in playoff contention. But then again, obviously we know injuries. Chanae missed majority of the year. Chrissy Tolliver missed the majority of the year. So it's really just all about just staying healthy and really building a right team around NECA.
Yeah, and I had high hopes for them too. I really did. And I'm with you on Derek Fisher. I thought he should have been gone maybe 2 seasons ago. This is Candace's first season in Chicago, right? Yes, it is. Mm-hmm. He should have been gone because they didn't see eye to eye.
They didn't.
I can kind of get why they didn't see eye to eye. I don't think their personalities mesh. But Los Angeles chose Derek Fisher over Candace Parker. And sometimes it happens. Like New England, I don't want to say they chose Belichick over Brady, but it feels that way.
Definitely.
In the sense of football. And that's a tough decision to make. That's a really tough decision to make. I think coupled that with the fact that Chicago had a pretty good team already without Candace. Candace probably saw what Chicago had and is home for Candace. Why not finish your career at home with an organization that's going to appreciate you more than the Sparks? I'm not saying the Sparks didn't appreciate her, but if you're going to choose Derek Fisher, who hasn't won anything, over Candace Parker, then I think she made the right choice.
I definitely agree 100%. And then, it's kind of like I said, honestly, Candace Parker is still a Spark if the Sparks go in another direction as far as, head coaching.
I wonder what she wants to do next. She said she wants to be the Magic Johnson, the female version of Magic Johnson. Because, she does a lot already. So I wonder what she wants to do next. All right, guys, we're in the second quarter. It is 16-30. Chicago is just playing very, very well. They're sharing the ball very well. I wonder how many assists they have thus far. Nick stepped away for a minute. Claire Copper's being aggressive. Ooh, nice little in and out. They called that foul on Harrison. Ooh, did she get the N1? Nope, almost. Nice little hesitation. I don't know if I would have called that. I probably would have let him play on. On that one. Well, it's playoff basketball. I would have let him play on. And that's what she's complaining about. She's complaining about the foul call.
Yeah, right now, Chicago got him outnumbered.
Yeah, Chicago is just playing. They're sharing the ball very well. And it seems like just Dallas has missed a couple of layups. And Chicago's moving the ball and knocking down shots. So that's recipe for disaster for anybody, I think. Now, before the season started, where did you have Dallas? Well, after the draft, of course.
To be honest, I think I had them around the same area as far as 7th seed. I honestly thought that they should have made the playoffs last year because honestly they had a really good season last year, but they just couldn't get that 8th seed. So going into this year, especially with the drafting, obviously Charlie Collier, Watt Queer, and and the rest of them, I definitely thought that they would definitely elevate. But unfortunately, my girl Charlie Collier hasn't really seen the opportunity this year. And, it's just kind of heartbreaking for me. But, obviously Dallas has still managed to kind of make the playoffs even without that. Yeah.
And we talked about this before when we were on the show before. That rookies in the NBA and rookies in WNBA are two different animals. There's only 144 players in the WNBA, 12 teams. If you get drafted number 1, you might not even see the floor. And we haven't seen Collier yet, have we? No.
We've seen it briefly, but it's only in like small samples. Like for example, like she'll have a game where she plays 5 minutes, and she'll have another game where she plays 10 minutes. So that's been my question all year is that what is Vicky Johnson trying to do as far as maybe I don't know if she believes that Charlie needs more develop or or whatever, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like if you're the number one pick in the WNBA draft, I feel like you should definitely get that opportunity to at least showcase your talent.
Yeah, I do too. And we kind of talked about this before. Number one picks next. Who we think?
Oh yeah, next year. Oh yeah,
next
as
year.
far as Ryan Howard and a few others.
Yeah. So who has the bottom? They got Indiana, Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta doesn't need any more guard. Well, actually, Atlanta's roster is going to be in limbo. Do you draft another guard if you're Atlanta?
I think you should go more in the forward area, in my opinion.
Okay. So Ford out of Baylor. Nylisha Smith.
No. Oh yes, definitely.
If you're Atlanta, if you get the number one pick, do you take Nylisha Smith? Yes. Let me answer that for you. Yes. Just yes.
But also Atlanta, they're gonna have to get their stuff together in the front office and everything as well if they want to become a contender and take their team to the next level. But that's just my opinion. It's just from the outside looking in.
We don't know what's going on with Kennedy Carter, right? And I know that Renee Montgomery has partial ownership in the Atlanta Dream. And I'm thinking she's probably going to hire another head coach. What you think?
She has to, without question.
Okay. So we're looking at the landscape of those bottom teams. Who else was there? Indiana. If you're Indiana, you got the number one pick. Where do you go? Do you think Indiana has enough guards? Or do you think they need to go forward or guard?
I think they could possibly use another guard and possibly another center. But I mean, honestly, Indiana's super young. But the thing about it is that, I mean, a lot of people may look at, their record saying that, they have the worst record and everything. I mean, we understand that it's true, but Indiana has a lot of talent, honestly. Tiffany Mitchell, Kelsey Mitchell, Tierra McCowan, the rest of those girls, they can really play. Now, I do like Marianne Stanley. So now the thing is she the future of that team going forward as far as being the head coach? Now, who knows? But looking at that roster, honestly, they have a lot of talent. And I mean, they took a lot of teams, or I mean, they made things competitive with a lot of teams. I want to say they beat Connecticut one time this year, and I want to say, I mean, they even went toe to toe against Phoenix as well. So even though the record says otherwise, they do show a lot of potential of being like a tough team in the W.
Okay, so we got Atlanta, Indiana. Who's the third team at the bottom? Is it the Sparks or the Mystics?
Probably one or the other.
It's one or the other. So those are the bottom four, which, of course, if you didn't make the playoffs, you're at the bottom four. Washington, Los Angeles, Atlanta, Indiana. One of those four teams, right? Or did Los Angeles lose their pick to Dallas or something like that? Somebody lost their pick in the bottom four. Was it to Dallas?
I can't exactly remember, to be honest. I'm trying to think.
I'm thinking too. And somebody lost their pick. I know it wasn't in Atlanta, and I know it wasn't Indiana. So if, say for instance, Los Angeles lost their pick to Dallas, now that pick goes to Dallas. It's just throwing out hypotheticals. If you're Dallas, what do you go get if you get top 1 or 2 pick? You got drafted. You had 1 and 2 last year.
I can say another point guard. What do you think?
Yeah.
Maybe another primary playmaker. Who may not be like a big scorer, but can get buckets on occasion, but really focuses on distributing and everything. What do you think?
That could work. But is it like in the NBA or NFL, you take the best available, or do you take somebody that can contribute right away, that you're going to play and that can contribute right away?
That's true. That is true.
Because the WNBA is a little bit different.
That's the tricky thing as well.
Oh, Nick, this is making me all kind of frantic. But we'll talk about that, of course, because we'll be watching women's college basketball, and you'll know whose picks are going to be where. It's a lot.
Obviously, there's a lot of mock drafts now, but I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, as the college season undergoes, you know what I'm saying, like the list is going to be different, like, you know, at least every week or every other week or whatever. So, you know, it may not even be Ryan Howard as the first pick. She may end up dropping to like the second, third, fourth pick, you know, like another week. So, you know, it's all about, you know, what players really produce at a high level and really deserves the, you know, those top picks.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they caught a foul on Candace. Oh my God.
Yeah, you see
Oh my God.
you see her reaction?
Yes. What in the world?
That was a clean block, I thought.
It was. Oh my God, yes, it was clean.
That was definitely clean.
Unless they're saying that she pushed her from the back. I don't know.
Who knows? Candace already has 8 rebounds. Sheesh. This game is flying by. Oh my goodness. Why is this game going by so quickly?
It is going. Actually, it's almost halftime. Jeez.
It is. And WBA games just fly by. They need 12 minutes.
They do need 12 minutes. I don't understand why they don't get 12 minutes. I mean, they're professional basketball players. I mean, we get it, you know, they're not the men's, but they should get 12 minutes.
Is it because they play more months out of the year? What do you think it is? The CBA, I know, has a lot to do with the way the games are constructed and things like that. They said they need a new CBA deal. That's what they said, which
I think
probably
so.
agree with that.
The W needs a lot of things. They need expansions. They need a new CBA deal. They need a lot.
They need travel accommodations.
Oh yeah, definitely.
How do you spend 2 days at an airport and then we got to delay a game because they can't find a flight? That's ridiculous.
That's very ridiculous. I mean, especially considering that this is the WNBA and they're really catching flights, like, you know, with other passengers and everything. Like, it's crazy.
Because you see on Twitter, like, I'm sitting there, I got the WNBA team behind me. Like, we're like, what? And these women are tall. So hopefully they're flying first class. Because when I came to Philly, I flew in coach or whatever, main cabin, whatever you want to call it. And I'm 5'8.5" and my knees were hurting. So just imagine somebody.
I'm 6'3", so I know my knees would be hurting. Definitely.
And I was gonna upgrade to first class. Mom was like, "You want to pay for first class?" I was like, "I need to be comfortable." And I told Mom, next time I fly, I am flying first class because my legs, I just could not. And she was like, "Okay, that works. That works." I was like, "Yeah, I'll pay for the first class."
It works out at the end. I mean, it may be a little pricey, but hey, at the end of the day, you'll have a comfortable flight.
I know, and I had to get 2 flights. So I had to get a flight from OKC to Minnesota and Minnesota to Philly. So I was like, oh my, Nick, when I tell you I was so uncomfortable.
Oh, I bet.
Mom was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "I'm 5'8.5". Like, this shouldn't hurt. And my mom's like 5'3", 5'4". She's like, "Oh, I'm fine." But we didn't have like room to move. And I was just like,
oh, I bet.
I was like, okay, next time we're flying first class. I hit my head on the overhead where you put the luggage and everything. I was like,
geez, golly.
I know I'm not that tall, but we flew Delta, but the plane was like small. It were small planes for some reason. And, you know, somebody was like, "Well, you should have flew American." I was like, I've been hearing some things about American lately, but Delta had the best flight. I didn't have to connect to 45 other different places, had Wi-Fi. What can I say, Nick? But we kind of got on a tangent about traveling. The new CBA deal for the W needs to happen. Now, let's take a look at, did you see the all-rookie thing by any chance? Did you see any of that?
I didn't, and I mean, it's crazy because I mean, I've been going all weekend. You know, I've been listening to to great WNBA reporters like Christina Williams and others, just kind of try to like see like who are like the real top rookies, because I don't know, it's like I think this year compared to last year is just a little bit weaker. Because I mean, the only two that I can possibly think of is Michaela from New York and then obviously Ari McDonald from Atlanta. But I mean, besides those two, is like, you know, what other rookies have like really stood out like that?
What rookies got the playing time? You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Dee Richardson started getting playing time to probably
Dee Richards as well.
Month and a half ago.
What about Dejanay Carrington?
I'm trying to figure it out. So let's look at it, Nick. I'm going to share my screen with you here in a bit.
All right.
And then I saw the top jersey sales too, and that made me.
Oh yeah, I saw that too. Oh man, the people love Sabrina. They love Sabrina.
They do. But it took me almost 2 months to get my Candace Parker jersey. So yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, let me get news. Maybe I get this could be on news. Let's see. Come on, most popular merchandise. Let's look at this. We're gonna take a look at this. I'm gonna share my screen here so you can see it. Now, for me personally, I saw some tweets about players of color and how the WNBA shines a light on players that are not players of color, and most WNBA are players of color. So
I see that. I can see that.
a lot of people are trying to figure that out. Now, Sabrina had the number 1 jersey, right? Then we had Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi, Asia Wilson, Brianna Stewart. Come on, give me the rest. There we go. Candace Parker, Skylar Diggins Smith, EDD, Maya Moore. Hey, Maya, and Liz Cambage. Now, teams merchandise: Seattle, New York, Vegas, Phoenix, and Chicago. When it comes to merchandise, though, I think it's about design. I think it's about design.
Definitely.
Now, this Chicago Sky shirt that I got on right now, I thought it was dope. I was
It's
like,
dope,
yo,
yeah.
it's in the jersey, the Candace Parker jersey that I have. I was like, yo, which is the jerseys they're wearing right now. That's the one that I have. I was like, man, this is dope. So what do you think about jersey sales? Because I had someone on Twitter bring up some very interesting points about jersey sales. Hey, Perry, how you doing?
What's Perry, what's good?
How do you feel about jersey sales?
It just shows to me that, fans are really just going to have their favorite regardless of, what kind of season they're having or, where they're at as far as, being the top in the W. So it's really all about favorites. So, obviously it's Sabrina Ionescu's number 1, but we can both admit that this season hasn't been the best for her. At least I could say that, as far as the expectations that were placed on her, she hasn't really lived up to that, which is fine because at the end of the day, she is still in her second year, so she has a lot more time to develop and continue to go forward. But it really just kind of shows favoritism, and it kind of really reflects on what what you said, how the WNBA really promotes players who are not color per se. Because honestly, I can just recall watching ESPN and ESPN is trying to promote, the next WNBA game. I remember it was the Liberty against the Storm. And the 2 heads that were up there were Sabrina Ionescu for New York and Sue Bird for Seattle. Now, we obviously know that both Sabrina and Sue are not the best players on their team. Mm-hmm. It's at the time, it was clearly for New York, but Naja Laney, and it wasn't even close. Mm-hmm. And then, obviously, for Seattle, it's Sue Bird. So, I don't understand. So, my thing is, I don't know if people who the people behind ESPN don't really pay attention to the W and they're really just going off of popularity.
I think that might be it.
Exactly. So my thing is, just to see that, and I saw many other people just outraged by that because at the end of the day, if you're really watching the games, we obviously know who's the real best players on the team. So to be able to see them promote the W like that, it was just kind of crazy to me.
I agree. And I want so bad for women's sports to get the recognition it deserves, but you have to put the right people in place for that to happen.
I agree.
We got Curlin Peck and Monica McNutt doing the halftime.
Monica McNutt.
I love her energy.
Definitely.
Absolutely love it. And Curlin Peck is just a pioneer. I love Curlin Peck. So looking at that, the WNBA is doing more to put the product out there, the brand out there. It's just that I like the new jerseys they put out. Nike did a great job with these kind of jerseys. They did a great job with that. The Commissioner's Cup, I love that. We can't help that they have to go play overseas. Maybe we can. The pay. If the WNBA players made the money, would they go overseas? No. Some of them don't. Some of them say, you know what? I'm just going to rest my body. But there's a lot of things that the W needs to improve. We talked about this before. But as far as a popularity contest, I'm thinking this is what ESPN was going, the direction they were going. The future and the present, right? With Sue Bird, being the kind of point guard that Sue Bird is, and then Sabrina's being the future point guard. That's what I'm thinking. Now,
Because, like I said, I mean, it's really the popularity. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, those people who are like, doing the promotion behind the scenes, like, can we really question, do they really watch these games per se? Or are they just really going off of, what Twitter's talking about, or, who's the hottest on social media? Because that's honestly what I'm seeing. Like, whenever I see the WWE get promoted like that, it just seems like people that are not necessarily paying attention to what's really going on, and rather just, really seeing what's going on social media instead.
Yeah. And that's what sports has turned into. Clips. People aren't watching games anymore. They're watching quick clips, and they're trying to see, okay, I don't know that Kyler Murray is good at football, or he might be pretty good at football, but I see this clip of Kyler Murray making this incredible pass. And Kyler Murray's the best quarterback in the league. You know what I mean? So they see these quick clips and they make a judgment off the clips that they've seen, and they don't watch the full game or pay attention to the games, and they don't know how to call it. You know what I mean? So I'm pretty sure the WNBA has people that work at ESPN that specifically focus on women's sports. I want to say they do. I don't know, but I want to say that they do, right? I want to give them the benefit of the doubt and say they have people there that specifically focus on women's sports. That's fair to say, right? I mean, I'm giving ESPN the benefit of the doubt at this point.
I agree 100%. I just really wish that, they really have the people back there or behind the scenes or basically covering the W that really knows what they're doing. Like that, I mean, it's kind of like, how I see Monica McNutt doing her thing. Those are people that really watch what's going on. Cause I mean, even Monica, who does some commentating sometimes from game to game. Those are people who are like really watching, who are really observing and see like what's going on as far as like, being around the league and everything. So I think they definitely need people of that caliber who really understand what's going on.
Absolutely. Okay, let me see if I can find it. I thought I retweeted today the teams. I don't think I did. I retweeted a lot of WNBA stuff. Let's dog see. Ugly. See if I can find it. Oh, it's halftime, guys, and Chicago's winning by 15.
Yep.
So, 29-44, if I'm thinking correctly.
Yep, 44-29. Hang on, Let me look up the stats.
Yeah, why didn't I retweet it?
So right now, Enrique's leading Dallas with 11 points on 4 of 8 shooting, and Kalia Copper's leading Chicago with 14 points.
See? And when Kalia Copper is doing her thing,
like I said, I mean, she can be the difference maker that can really take Chicago to the next level, and she's shown it so far in the first half.
Now, I saw something on Twitter. This was from... Wait a minute. Do I want to do that? I don't know if I want to do that. The AP had Courtney Vandersloot and Candace Parker, second team, all WNBA. There is a list. I swear there's a list. Let me see if I can find it on my phone.
I'm going to have to find these awards because, I mean, honestly, I think I'm missing out.
I am too, Nick. And we're in the same boat, brother. We're in the same boat. Okay, is this the right? That's the wrong way, Amber. Go up. Darn it. Okay. Yeah. Nope. I guess I didn't take a picture of it. But let me see if I can find it on the site, Nick. But it doesn't have it in the news. I wonder why.
Yeah, I'm trying to look on Twitter now. I don't really see anything, to be honest.
Is it because it's AP?
I guess so. I guess it's maybe because it's not really official, so they're not really promoting it like that.
Well, we'll do this. Can you give me your first team?
First team. Oh my gosh. So how are we gonna do? Are we gonna do the same as the NBA, where it's like, guards, forwards, and then the big, or can we just really name like top 5?
You get name top 5. That's
okay.
How I feel at the moment.
All right. So obviously, number 1, Jonquil Jones. I think that's without question. Number 2, Breanna Stewart. Number 3, Asia Wilson. Number 4. It's like I don't want to name this player because obviously their team's not in the playoffs, but I think she had a really good year. Tina Charles.
Okay.
And number five, I'll put. Golly, it's like a mix of like who do I choose? Sylvia Fowles or Brittany Griner? Like
You got all bigs.
That's why I asked, like, how are we doing it? Because in my opinion, like, the top players are bigs. Like, that's why I was asking.
Okay, this is how we're gonna do it. All right. We're gonna do two guards, 2 forwards, 1 center.
Okay, so all right, let's do that. So
I agree with you though. I totally agree with you.
All right, for the 2 guards, I'll say Skylar Diggins-Smith definitely.
Yes.
And
I'll put Jewel
Lloyd in there. I'm gonna put Jewel Lloyd in there.
Okay, I'm looking at this list. Okay.
All right, so those are the 2 guards. Let me find some forwards. Definitely. Golly.
You just named some of them. I mean, pick from your list, Nick.
I know. I'll say Stewie. I'll say Brandon Stewart.
All right.
And who do I want? I want to pick a 3. Who's been like an elite 3? Man, it's so tough.
Stewie could be your 3, right?
Yeah, Stewie can be my 3, but
yeah.
Man,
your 5 should be obvious. I mean, well, kind of sort of.
Okay, I'll put Asia Wilson in there as well. Okay. And then I'll put Jacqueline Jones.
All right. So Michelle Smith, she writes for WNBA.com. I love Michelle Smith. She has DeWanna Bonner, Skylar Diggins-Smith, Brianna Stewart, Asia Wilson, and Jacqueline Jones. Okay, second team, I'm probably gonna think Sylvia Fowles.
Sylvia Fowles, definitely.
Do you go Brittany Griner or Tina Charles?
I'm gonna go Tina Charles. I mean, she was the leading scorer. I want to say she was the leading scorer this year.
Yeah, she was.
Okay, so yeah, I'll go Tina Charles.
Your 3 though.
Benaja Laney.
I could go there. Okay, my 2 guards. Your 2 guards.
I'm gonna throw her in there. I mean, I know she came off the bench. I'm gonna throw Kelsey Plum.
Ooh, okay.
I'm gonna throw Kelsey Plum in there.
She probably won 6th man of the year. And then you gonna do Enrique?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll do Enrique as well.
Okay, so Kelsey Plum and Enrique. Second team. Oh man, that's tough because look, you got Brittany Griner still there, Sylvia Fowles, and Tina Charles all still sitting there, right? Mm-hmm. Like, who is not on the list? Like, who doesn't make the list?
That's why I feel like it's not fair, like, whenever you do it like that, because, I mean, here's the thing. Brittany Griner, in a lot of people's opinion, is an MVP candidate this year. She didn't make it on the top first or second team, so now that's tough.
This is just not fair. Tough. It's not fair. Because the bigs did have a great year this year.
The bigs had a great year.
This is the year of the bigs, man.
Mm-hmm.
This was the year of the bigs. So what do you do? I don't really know. Oh goodness. My 2 guards though. Let's just talk about the guards. Enrique would be one of my guards. I'm tired of the bigs. Let's talk about the guards. And probably Jewel Lloyd would be my second guard.
Jewel Lloyd. Mm-hmm.
Enrique and Jewel Lloyd. Bigs. I don't know. Because Tina Charles isn't a 3, Brittany Griner isn't a 3, and Sylvia Fowles isn't a 3. So they're all either power forwards or centers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then who would I have as my 3 at that point? Who did you pick as your 3?
I said
not Laney.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I picked Benaja Laney.
Okay, that'll be fine as my small forward. She'd be fine. The bigs is what I'm having a hard time with. One of them is going to be the odd man out because
did we say DeWanna Bonner?
I had DeWanna on my first team.
Okay.
Michelle Smith had DeWanna Bonner as a guard. DeWanna Bonner and Skylar Diggins-Smith.
Okay, I'm not mad at that.
Yeah. So what do you do? So who would be the odd man out? The person that didn't make the playoffs? Tina Charles? Even though she's leading the league in scoring?
Unfortunately, probably yes. Unfortunately, probably yes.
Okay.
Just because, I mean, team factor does. I mean, if your team's not successful, then I mean, it's kind of unlikely that you're going to be like a real candidate for the MVP award.
Although we know if the Mystics were healthy,
Oh yeah, with
Ooh,
Elena
boy.
Delle Donne, Tina Charles, and oh yeah, oh yeah,
Mhm.
they'd be at least top 3 in my opinion.
So we just want to throw that out there for you guys. But it comes down to health, right? We could say if all day long, but if you're not
It's
healthy,
all hypothetical.
exactly. All right. Now, Defensive Player of the Year, Nick. This award right here is something that I've seen mixed reviews on. It's been between 3 players. Well, 4 players
Really?
I've seen.
I already got my player right here, Sylvia Fowles.
Okay, it's been between Sylvia Fowles, Brittany Sykes,
Okay,
Jonquil Jones, and Brittany Griner. That's what I've seen. And people
I'm
are
still
like,
gonna go Sylvia, in my opinion.
Sylvia. People are like, I like what Sykes does on the perimeter, giving him the
Yeah,
guard.
Sykes is an elite defender.
So would that be your first team? Can that be first team? No, because it's not.
Yeah, it's not in that type of order.
No, it's not. So it would
Scott
be,
Diggins is a pretty good on-ball defender when she can be, or when she's playing well.
yeah. So would it go? Brittany Sykes would be first team all defense. Brittany Sykes, Sylvia Fowles. Do you go? Jonquil Jones? Or do you
Golly.
go
The
Brittany
bigs, the
Griner?
bigs.
The year of the bigs, man. Shout out to the bigs. Because boy, you guys are making it really hard out here for us to figure this out. Because Brittany Sykes, Sylvia Fowles for sure.
Mhm.
Now you're getting into okay, 2 guard. I'm trying to think. See, I saw that on Twitter today too. Why didn't I retweet all this stuff? Amber, what were you doing today? I was so busy at work today. I was trying to get but Sylvia Fowles did win AP Defensive Player of the Year. So she did win that. So shout out to you, Sylvia Fowles, winning AP Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, I can't really think of any that really stand out to me that come to mind besides those players. Would you put Candace back in there? I don't know.
That's a possibility. I mean, I wouldn't mind having Candace in there because she is pretty darn good defender. We're seeing that right now.
But yeah, I mean, besides that, nobody's really standing out. I'm just trying to think of like each team and like who's really been like a defensive pest, but none of them really stand out. I mean, there's obviously good team defense, but I mean, as far as like being an individual lockdown player, I can't really think of any more.
I can't either. I'm going to click on one of these WNBA accounts. Somebody's going to tell me something. Right, Nick? Somebody's got to tell me something about these teams. Because I've seen Brittany Sykes. I've seen Sylvia Fowles. I've seen Brittany Griner. I've seen Jonquil Jones. I've seen different names thrown out there for Defensive Player of the Year. But I want to know what people think. 2-guard. I'm looking for a 2-guard actually, and I'm trying to think who my 2-guard would be. But I mean, at any rate, I think Chicago's gonna win this game.
Oh yeah, without question.
Now the next game, Nick, let's kind of talk about that before we head on out and watch the second half. What you thinking?
I think it'll be a tough matchup, honestly. I think both teams are kind of well rested. I mean, obviously. Unfortunately, Phoenix blew that last game against Vegas, which I mean, at the end of the day, nobody really cares about that game per se. But just looking at this game, I feel like I think that matchup with Natasha Howard and or that duel between Natasha Howard and Brittany Griner is going to be a fun one to watch. I mean, Brittany Griner is coming off of a phenomenal season, which in my opinion, it might be her best season. I'm trying to think of like other seasons where she really dominated. Obviously, she had that year where Phoenix won the championship in 2014, but I think this year individually, she really dominated and really took her game to that next level. So it's really all about how she could transition that into the playoffs. So I think that she'll be the biggest X factor for Phoenix. Obviously, we obviously know what we're going to get from Skylar Diggins and Taurasi, whenever she's healthy. But I think Grant is going to definitely be the X factor for them to be able to get out of this round. And then it's also, besides Natasha Howard, I mean, how do you get great production out of Sabrina? I mean, it's kind of like what you said. I mean, she'll have to have like that type of performance, a double-double or triple-double, really being able to score and also get others involved. But Nigeline's going to have to be able to shoot the ball at an efficient level. But then also players like Sammy Whitcomb and others are going to have to really step up as well. So it's going to have to be a team, or like the team that has more of a team effort out of their ball club. I feel like they're going to be able to be the ones that really have that advantage.
So you going Phoenix or you going New York?
I'm going to go Phoenix.
You going to go Phoenix? Okay. I'm going to go Phoenix, but I don't think New York's going to make it easy. I think Natasha Howard's going to have a good game.
Definitely.
Like I said before, Sabrina's going to have to put up one of those Lonzo Ball numbers type games. You know what I mean? For them to win. We know what Laney's going to give you. Can those others step up for New York, though?
That's true. That is true. Like, obviously besides, Laney, Sabrina, and who else would I say? Natasha Howard.
Yeah.
Obviously, I mean, you still have Michaela. Michaela can definitely still, produce at a high level. Sammy Whitcomb, Rebecca Allen. So, the Liberty have some great contributors who can step up. But now it's all about, how they can make that happen in this single elimination game where it's really on the line. So there's a lot of pressure going into this game. I mean, we understand that it is the first round, but at the end of the day, I mean, there's really no other opportunities other than this one. So I mean, it's not like the NBA where where you lose the first game, but you can still come back and adjust going into the second game. It's really just all about locking in for these 40 minutes and then being able to advance past this round.
I'm gonna go Phoenix, and I picked Phoenix last week, and they let me down. I just don't think they'll let me down this week. Now,
I agree.
What are we looking forward to in this second half?
I think Kalia Copper's going to continue to lead the way scoring wise, and I think Chicago's going to have to really lock in defensively. I feel like if they lock in defensively in this half, kind of like what they did in this first half, I think they'll blow this game open. I think it'll probably be like a 20+ point win. I
agree. I just think Dallas is outmatched, and I'm wondering. We saw Awak; she got some minutes.
Awak got some a little bit of minutes, yep.
But of course, we know that Collier didn't get any minutes. I don't think I've seen Collier on the floor.
What are the questions for this offseason for Dallas? Does Vicki Johnson deserve to stay as the head coach, or do they go in another direction? I don't know.
I think she's trying to figure it out. Like, you know what I mean? And they're a young team. It runs through Enrique. We know that. And they're young. I think they drafted well.
They definitely did.
Do they trust the players they drafted?
That's the thing. My thing is they had the top 2 draft picks. It's not just number 1. They had the top 2. So that has been my question all year. You have one of the most dominant bigs in college last year in Charlie Collier, and then alongside Awak Queer, who was probably one of the most versatile players in this draft, and you don't really give them any opportunity. Like, what I'm saying, like, it has to really shake their confidence. I mean, especially Charlie, who really came into the season with high expectations and, has not really seen the floor this year. So I don't know what the future of Dallas will be. I don't know if, maybe things will change this next season, but hopefully Charlie can get more opportunities going into the next year.
Yeah, I hope so too. Well, she can be on the roster next year though. Because in the WNBA, it don't matter where you were picked. Sometimes you make the roster the next season, sometimes you don't.
But also, I mean, when you look at the circumstance, I mean, the Wings ended up trading away Dana Evans as well. I think they traded to Chicago, and now you see her, being a big contributor to their team as well. So it's really all about being placed in a good opportunity.
Yeah, the WNBA is all about opportunity, in my opinion. All about opportunity because there's only 144 players. These women seem like they can play basketball forever. They don't want to retire. Taraji. And I know Taraji's not going to retire after this season because she doesn't want to go out like this because she hasn't played really all year.
She hasn't at all
year. I think Candace probably has a couple of years left, and then she's going to be the Magic Johnson of the W. She has a lot of things that she does outside the WNBA, which I love. I love her commentary on college and the NBA and things like that. So she has a couple of years left. I think Chicago's fine. They probably a draft late anyway. So when you look at teams and you're looking at their rosters and you look down the roster, you're like, okay, so who's going to make the team this year? Right? There's a lot of good players not making rosters. Dallas, do you let Vicki Johnson, do you give this one more year with this young squad and try to figure out rotations and,
I'll
evaluate players.
say I'll
Who
say
did
give it
better?
one more year, and if things still continue to be the way that they are, then I'll say that they need to go in a new direction.
Do you think Derek Fisher keeps his job?
No. I hope not, honestly, because I mean, I feel like even and like it's not even just that Candace Parker situation. I feel like a lot of people around that Sky team want Fisher to be gone. He should have been gone last year and the year before, but I think the front office kind of I guess maybe they're all seeing eye to eye, but unfortunately, it's just not working. So if the Sparks want to go into another level going into next year, I feel like Derek Fisher needs to go.
I agree. Atlanta, does Atlanta keep their head coach?
I don't think so. I think they definitely need to go into another direction, and they need to make a decision right now. As far as with Kennedy, do they want to keep her going into next year? And if they don't want to keep her, just stop wasting her time. Because at the end of the day, she's still a young player who has a lot of value. So definitely, if you're not looking to go forward with her, definitely look for a new destination for her.
I agree. I agree. I think Kennedy. I just don't think Atlanta's the place for her. Once you kind of spoil the relationship, sours and it spoils within the organization.
Yep.
It's like Ben Simmons' situation in Philly.
Oh yeah,
It's
it's
just
bad.
gone. It's bad. Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. I don't know how the heck they worked that out, but Aaron Rodgers is playing this year.
That's true.
But Kennedy Carter's on a smaller stick because there's 12 teams, 144 players. You're going to re-sign Courtney Williams. Tiffany Hayes is there. Ari McDonald, right? You got three guards, three very, very good guards, honestly.
Odyssey Sims as well.
And Odyssey Sims is there as well. So at the end of the day, Kennedy Carter might be the odd man out because if you're giving the most, your talent might not be worth your trouble.
Which is honestly crazy to me because I feel like Kennedy Carter, Courtney Williams, a backcourt like that with a lot of offensive power. I feel like they could have really made some noise in the W or around the league this year, but unfortunately, it didn't happen.
I picked that. I was like, you know what? I think Atlanta is going to make some noise with those two players this season. And I said their backcourt is fiery. And then you got Odyssey Sims. I'm trying to figure out where Aaron McDonald's minutes were going to come from.
That's true.
You got Tiffany Hayes, who played very well last season and was playing very well this season until she got hurt and she came back. She's still playing pretty well. I love lefties for some reason, but I don't know. I think you have to let her move on.
I think so too.
You just have to let her move on, and
especially with the way Ari has really came out this year and like really stepped up her game throughout this season. So if you're Atlanta and you're looking at that situation and then you're looking at Kennedy as well, it's like in my opinion they need to go with Ari as far as like allowing her to be the franchise point guard going forward.
I would have to agree with you. I have to agree with you right now. Chicago, you're making me nervous, Chicago. Dallas is getting a little bit more aggressive on offense, a little bit more aggressive on defense. Claire Copper's at the line. She's going to be shooting 2. They're making me a little nervous here. Almost halfway through the third, and they're down by 9.
This is Chicago's problem all the time. I mean, they take their foot off the gas like at certain points in the game, and then next thing you know, the teams get back into it, and then now next thing you know, it's like it's a close game going into the fourth. So Candace Parker does not need to go out in the first round, especially with all the high expectations that Chicago has had this year. They need to be going into the second round, so they need to really turn it up a notch and become more aggressive.
Absolutely, and I think they'll close this game out and win this game. But Dallas is looking like they made some adjustments at the half, which I like.
Mm-hmm.
See, there you go. Mariah Jefferson has a big on her. And she did travel. And she kind of took advantage of that, but then she took advantage and got the ball to, is it Harrison down low, I believe? I can't really tell. And made a play. So I like to see more of that. Vandersloot, they needed that. Ooh-wee. If Dallas goes down here and scores, James Wade needs a timeout.
Definitely.
If they score on this possession, which they just did.
Oh, yeah. Dallas is coming out super aggressive. Oh, my goodness.
They've seen something. They've made some adjustments. So Vicky Johnson made some adjustments. Nick, look at that.
There we go.
There we go. That's what I like to see.
She's giving herself a shot.
Yeah, you have to. It's one game. Oh, that's and one. Yeah, that was and one. Okay. I like the footwork down low as receivers. I like it. Oh, I'm gonna have fun watching this game. All right, Nick. I appreciate it. We'll be back next week, right? Next week.
Definitely next week.
We'll be back. More WNBA playoffs.
I want to say the conference semifinals will be in play by then.
I think, according to the schedule, I think you might be right.
Okay.
Ooh.
Because I know the second round is on Sunday. So
yeah, and Satu has 3 fouls. That could be huge.
Yeah.
That could be huge.
She's came out aggressive too, as in the second half. Satu Sabali.
Yeah. Ooh, Enrique, that was nasty. She just couldn't hit it. Why would you get no? Find a guard. Sorry, Nick. I just really despise when
look at poor Charlie Collier on the bench, man. Oh my goodness.
It's just so different. Oh, good pass. And one. Okay, Copper came out. Okay. I'm hyped. My bad.
It's all good.
That's a good pass. That was a good dime. No look. And one. She's being very aggressive too. So when she's aggressive, they're hard to beat. Yeah, she created that contact and got that and one. Now you got to hit the free throw, Copper. You got to hit the free throw. Next week we'll be back. Hopefully Chicago Sky's still in it. She missed the free throw. We don't know who's going to be in it, but you'll find out next week.
Definitely. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. All right, guys. We will see you next week.